Tonight's concert, amazing. Spice did her thing, but me and my hubby are gonna exit stage left because the last thing I wanna do is run into Yandy. I don't wanna be around no funky breath and no funky ass cheeks slapping together, smelling like BBL Smith.
Rasheeda did not come to play, and baby, the shade she just threw might go down as the messiest moment of the entire Love and Hip Hop Atlanta season. Picture this. Spice is killing the stage, the crowd is hype, the energy is crazy. And suddenly, Rasheeda grabs Kirk's arm and says, "We're leaving." Not quietly, not politely. She basically stormed out on camera. And the reason? Yandy Smith Harris. According to the streets, Rasheeda said she wasn't about to stick around and breathe the same air as funky breath and funky BBL cheeks slapping together. Yes, she said that, and the internet has been choking ever since. Now fans are dragging, defending, and decoding everything Rasheeda meant, and why this friendship has officially gone from sisterhood to straight war. Buckle up, because this feud is way deeper, way nastier, and way more personal than anybody expected. Let's get into it. The moment Rasheeda stepped into Spice's concert, fans thought it would be a cute, supportive night. The kind you post on Instagram with sparkles, hugs, and matching outfits. But from the second the cameras caught her face, something was off. That smile wasn't a smile. It was a warning sign. Kirk looked confused. Spice's DJ was hyping the crowd. The dancers were ready to turn up, and Rasheeda looked like she was calculating the quickest escape route. And when she finally grabbed her bag and told Kirk, "We're exiting stage left," the internet damn near blew up. Because nobody expected her to walk out, not on Spice, and especially not on a night filled with music, energy, and Atlanta pride. But according to Rasheeda, she wasn't walking out on the show. She was walking out on the possibility, the danger, of running into Yandy Smith Harris. See, what fans didn't know is that this tension didn't start inside that concert venue. It's been simmering beneath the surface for months. Little whispers, side-eye moments, confessionals that felt a little too pointed. And when Rasheeda said she wasn't trying to be near funky breath and funky BBL cheeks slapping together smelling like BBL smell, social media lost its mind. Not only because the insult was brutal, but because it was personal. That wasn't casual shade. That was years of friendship, loyalty, and unspoken resentment boiling over in one line. And Yandy? Baby, the way she's been carrying herself? You could tell she wasn't expecting that kind of hit from someone she once called a sister. To really understand how we got here, you have to rewind back to Cabo, the moment everything cracked. What was supposed to be a relaxing girls' trip turned into a messy reality TV battlefield. Yandy wanted to clear the air about rumors involving Mendices and Jasmine Washington, and Rasheeda wasn't having it. While Yandy poured her heart out trying to explain herself, Rasheeda sat there cold as ice, talking about, "We not even that close." That sentence alone was enough to put their whole history into question. Because here's the part Rasheeda refuses to address. When Yandy defended her against Jasmine, she did it publicly, loudly, and with her whole chest. When the world dragged Kirk for cheating, it was Yandy screaming loyalty and sisterhood. And now Rasheeda was acting like they were just Instagram mutuals. Fans saw that moment and immediately knew something deeper was happening behind the scenes. After Cabo, things didn't get better. They got petty, subtle shade on social media, confessionals that felt targeted. And then Yandy found out Rasheeda had allegedly told people in Atlanta about a scuffle between her and Mendices after a Spice event. That's when everything went left. Because Yandy is many things: businesswoman, TV star, activist. But one thing she's not is someone who sits quietly when her marriage is involved. That revelation cut deep. For Yandy, it wasn't just gossip, it was betrayal. She thought Rasheeda had her back. Instead, Rasheeda was reportedly running her mouth about something that was never meant for the cameras. Fast forward to the concert night. Spice is ready to perform. People are turning up. TikTok lives are streaming, and Rasheeda is scanning the room like she expects an enemy to jump out of the smoke machines. The moment she realized Yandy might pull up, boom, she was out. Not a goodbye to Spice, not a wave to the crowd. She dipped. The shade wasn't subtle. It was loud, proud, and dripping with attitude. Fans in the comments were clowning her. "Girl, you walked out like you were doing something important," as one post from X read. Others said Rasheeda was scared Yandy might confront her. And listen, based on Yandy's energy this season, that theory ain't crazy. The messed up part is that Spice didn't even know what was going on. She's on stage doing her thing, giving the audience her full Caribbean queen energy. And meanwhile, backstage Twitter is melting down with live reactions. Why Rasheeda leave? Why she mad? Why she shading BBLs? And when the clip of her BBL comment dropped online, it was over. It went viral faster than anything Love and Hip Hop ATL has produced all year. People weren't even arguing about sides anymore. They were arguing about hygiene, surgeries, marriage, loyalty. It was chaos. Here's where things get even nastier. Hours after the concert, fans dug up old footage from season 10 when Yandy first joined Atlanta's cast. Back then, Yandy and Rasheeda were inseparable. Brunch dates, girls' nights, business talk, kids bonding. The internet loves receipts, and these receipts made Rasheeda look like she switched up fast. Commenters were quick to point out how Yandy helped Rasheeda through some of her darkest marital moments. Remember the Jasmine Kirk drama? Remember the DNA test storyline? Yandy was front and center, calming Rasheeda down, encouraging her to stay strong, telling the world that friendships don't crumble just because men do. And now, Rasheeda is talking about funky BBL cheeks. Fans feel like Rasheeda didn't just cross a line. She pole vaulted over it. Meanwhile, Yandy is somewhere minding her business, posting skincare routines, talking about Mendice's new projects, and acting unbothered. But you can tell she's annoyed. She's giving "I'm done explaining myself" vibes. And honestly, who can blame her? Being loyal to someone for years only for them to flip the script and throw you under the bus over a rumor. Anyone would be heated. And the worst part, the very worst part, is that Spice is now caught in the middle of a feud she never asked for. Her concert wasn't supposed to be drama night. She was there to work, perform, and celebrate her wins, not host a battle royale between Rasheeda and Yandy. So here we are, a friendship that lasted years now hanging by a thread, a concert turned into a scandal, a BBL comment echoing across the internet like a nuclear bomb, and fans are choosing sides faster than ever. Team Rasheeda or Team Yandy? Team Petty or Team Peace? It's messy, it's personal, and it's only the beginning of what's shaping up to be the most chaotic Love and Hip Hop ATL storyline of the season. And baby, this war is far from over. If part 1 was the explosion, part 2 is the fallout, the smoked out battlefield where everybody is trying to figure out what the hell just happened and why this friendship melted down so fast. Because the moment Rasheeda walked out of Spice's concert, every cast member, every fan page, and every reality TV detective on TikTok had something to say. And suddenly, the internet wasn't just talking. They were investigating. They pulled clips, slowed down scenes, zoomed in on expressions, analyzing Rasheeda's body language like she was testifying in court. And the verdict? Mess. Pure, certified, triple-filtered, messy. People kept asking the same question. Why would Rasheeda go that hard? Why talk about funky breath and funky BBL cheeks slapping together. Why hit below the belt when she could have kept it cute and stuck to the storyline? Because that wasn't normal shade. That wasn't a petty read. That sounded like hurt. Real, quiet, held in for too long hurt. And whether Rasheeda wants to admit it or not, it all goes back to Cabo. Back to that moment when Yandy found out Rasheeda was allegedly talking behind her back about the scuffle she and Mendices had outside Spice's event. That moment cracked the foundation. But this concert night, that destroyed it. Fans went back through old episodes and instantly noticed how off Rasheeda's energy had been this season. She wasn't her usual laid-back, business-focused self. She was snappier, colder, more defensive. Every time Yandy's name came up, she stiffened like she was bracing for impact. And the internet caught it. One viewer on X wrote, "Rasheeda been mad at Yandy since Cabo, but didn't have the guts to say it until now." Another wrote, "She not mad at Yandy. She mad at herself for sticking with Kirk for 50 years through cheating scandals." And honestly, fans weren't lying. Because while Rasheeda was on national TV defending her marriage through the Jasmine Washington situation, DNA tests, and baby rumors, who was right there beside her? Yandy, defending her, hyping her, praying with her, reminding her that she deserved love and respect, that loyalty didn't mean suffering in silence. And now Rasheeda is acting brand new, calling Yandy's breath funky and her BBL stinky. The math is mathing weird, and fans could feel it. Meanwhile, Yandy's side of the story starts to shine through in the episode. She's venting to Mendices, telling him she feels blindsided and embarrassed by Rasheeda's coldness. She says she's tired of being the friend who shows up but never gets the same energy back. And honestly, that's real. So many viewers relate it because they've been the Yandy before. The friend who gives 100% only to find out the other person was giving 30% on a good day. And when Yandy said, "I didn't know Rasheeda felt this way. I always had her back," you could see the pain in her eyes. Not anger, not hatred, just confusion. Because sometimes betrayal doesn't come with yelling. Sometimes it comes with silence. Back at the concert, Spice has no idea drama is brewing. She's giving a show, fans are dancing, the music is pumping, and backstage, producers are losing their minds because Rasheeda just walked out on camera. This wasn't a whisper fight. This wasn't a backstage argument. This was a televised declaration of war. And Love and Hip Hop producers love chaos, but even they didn't expect this kind of shade. You can practically hear Mona Scott Young sipping wine like, "Oh baby, I can work with this." As soon as Rasheeda left the building, the cameras followed Kirk, who looked like he wanted to disappear into the drywall. Kirk is used to being the one dragging Rasheeda into drama, not the other way around. But as he walked out behind her, fans noticed he looked uncomfortable, like he wanted to say something but knew better. Because the one thing Kirk Frost does not want is to be in the middle of a woman-on-woman feud. Not after everything he's put Rasheeda through on TV. He stayed quiet, smart move. Social media kept digging. People brought up how Rasheeda allegedly said Yandy and Mendices weren't even legally married, implying their whole storyline was fake. That sent Yandy's fan base into a frenzy. They pulled receipts, videos, interviews, proving Yandy and Mendices had been through real struggles long before any cameras started rolling. Fans started asking why Rasheeda felt the need to attack Yandy's marriage when her own has been scrutinized for years, and that's where the conversation shifted. Suddenly, it wasn't just about a funky BBL comment, it was about deeper insecurities. One Reddit user wrote, "Rasheeda projecting onto Yandy like she didn't forgive Kirk for stepping out on her multiple times." Another said, "She mad at Yandy because Yandy doesn't let people embarrass her publicly." Whew, that comment alone told the story. But here's the twist nobody expected. Spice wasn't completely innocent in this. Fans noticed she laughed a little too hard when the drama between Yandy and Rasheeda came up earlier in the episode. You know that laugh, the "I'm not in it, but I'm definitely watching" laugh. And when footage from the venue leaked showing Spice talking to Yandy afterward, fans wondered if Spice low-key knew Rasheeda would be uncomfortable seeing Yandy. Was this her plan? Probably not. But love and hip-hop drama rarely starts from zero. It usually starts with a spark no one talks about, until it becomes a fire everyone can see. Now fast forward to the confessional scenes. Rasheeda doubles down. She doesn't apologize. She doesn't backtrack. She owns the shade with her whole chest. She says she's tired of fake people, tired of manipulation, tired of loyalty being one-sided. She says she doesn't need Yandy in her life, and she doesn't care what anybody thinks. And that's when the internet split into two camps. The Rasheeda is fed up with fake friends crowd, and the Rasheeda is bitter and misdirecting her anger crowd. And both sides had receipts. By the time the episode ended, the damage was done. Spice's concert wasn't what anyone was talking about. Nobody cared about the music, the outfits, the performance. All eyes were on Rasheeda and Yandy. Fans were making memes. Editors were making TikToks. Blogs were writing think pieces. And Rasheeda's quote about funky BBL cheeks became the unofficial tagline of the season. This feud wasn't just drama. It was personal, layered, rooted in years of loyalty, unspoken expectations, and women navigating friendships in the public eye. And it's clear neither one of them is ready to back down. Because in Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, old friends make the fiercest enemies. And this fight, it's only just beginning. By the time part 3 of this messy saga kicks in, the entire Love and Hip Hop ATL universe is vibrating with tension. What started as a shady walkout has now snowballed into a full-scale civil war between cast members, fan bases, and even longtime friendships. And the craziest part? Every new episode seems to peel back another layer of why Rasheeda and Yandy fell apart, and why this might be one of the deepest friendship fractures the franchise has seen in years. While the internet was debating funky breath, funky BBL smells, and who threw the first punch verbally, the cast was dealing with the emotional fallout behind the scenes. Cameras caught Yandy sitting with her glam team the next morning, staring into the mirror with that "I'm smiling, but internally I'm screaming" look she has perfected over the years. She tried to brush it off, talking about business, events, meetings, anything except Rasheeda. But the moment her makeup artist gently asked, "You good, sis?" you could see the guard drop for a split second. Her eyes watered, her voice cracked, and she admitted, "I didn't expect that from her." And that's when viewers really started connecting the dots. Because Yandy isn't the type to cry over shade. She's been called everything in the book by castmates before. Manipulative, fake, dramatic, controlling. But hearing it from Rasheeda, that cut different. That was family. That was someone she genuinely believed cared about her. And the betrayal hit her deeper than the insult itself. The funky BBL comment was wild, but the emotional gut punch was Rasheeda pretending like their whole friendship meant nothing. Meanwhile, Rasheeda was on the other side of Atlanta with Kirk, venting in their house like she had been holding in years' worth of frustration. She wasn't yelling. She was doing that cold Rasheeda thing where she talks calm, but the words slice. She told Kirk that she's tired of fake loyalty, tired of being the bigger person, tired of women pretending to be close but gossiping the minute the cameras cut. But viewers noticed something unusual. She never once said Yandy's name, almost like saying it would make the situation too real, too vulnerable. And Kirk, for once in his life, actually shut up and listened. Because he knew better than anyone, Rasheeda doesn't let go of friendships easily. If she's done, she's done. But then the episode showed something nobody expected. Old footage from season 10 of the two of them laughing, cooking together, visiting each other's businesses, babysitting kids, celebrating birthdays, clips of Yandy defending Rasheeda during the Jasmine Washington storyline, clips of Rasheeda supporting Yandy when Mendices was away. It reminded viewers that this wasn't just reality TV drama. This was a genuine sisterhood, and losing that kind of connection hurts in ways fans don't always see. And here's where the story gets even more twisted. Spice steps into the center. After the concert, Spice hosted an after-party, and everyone expected her to be mad that Rasheeda walked out. But Spice, she laughed. She literally laughed. Her confessional said, "If Rasheeda don't want to stay, she can go. Me nah beg nobody to watch me perform." But then her tone changed when Yandy entered the scene to support her. Spice hugged her tight, whispered, "You good?" And Yandy gave that quiet, forced smile that said everything. Spice later told producers that she had felt weird energy from Rasheeda all season, that every time Yandy and Rasheeda were in the same room, there was a tension she couldn't ignore. She said she didn't know what the feud was about, but she knew it had been brewing long before her concert. And somehow, Spice ended up being dragged into a conflict she never wanted to be part of. And then the internet started whispering another theory, that Spice might be the reason Yandy and Rasheeda fell out in the first place. Fans pointed out clips where Rasheeda seemed jealous of Yandy and Spice's bond. Clips where Spice praised Yandy for always showing up, always supporting, always being present. And some viewers said Rasheeda didn't like how easily Yandy meshed with Spice, that maybe she felt replaced. Whether that theory is real or fan fiction, it definitely stirred the pot even more. Now let's talk about the cast reactions. Bambi hopped into a live stream saying, "These women too grown to be acting like this." Sierra posted a cryptic story that fans think was shade toward Rasheeda. Mendices liked, then unliked, a post dragging Rasheeda for talking about his marriage. That man unlikes faster than the speed of scandal. Carly Red, of course, inserted herself by reposting a meme saying, "BBL smell is crazy," which only made the situation worse. Every cast member had something to say, but the one voice missing was Spice. And that silence was loud. Producers knew this feud was ratings gold, so the next episode puts Yandy and Rasheeda in the same room at an event celebrating Spice's new single. The tension was thick. You could feel it through the screen. Yandy walked in confident, head high, ready for whatever. Rasheeda walked in tight-lipped, arms crossed, not even trying to fake a smile. And when they finally locked eyes, baby, the air froze. Spice tried to lighten the mood, but the energy was too dead to revive. And when Rasheeda muttered under her breath, "I ain't talking to no fake people tonight," Yandy heard it. The entire room heard it. And that's when Yandy calmly turned around and said, "If you got something to say it direct. Don't mumble." That was the moment everyone knew. We were officially in WAR territory. The producers cut to black before they started swinging words, or wigs. But fans didn't need the rest of the footage to know one thing. This beef is deeper than BBL jokes, deeper than Cabo drama, deeper than the Jasmine Washington rumor. This is a friendship breaking at the seams, tearing apart in real time, and the world is watching every crack, every shade, every unspoken word. And what's coming next? It's about to be explosive. By the time we reach part 4, everything is cracked open, raw, and way past the point of being fixed with a simple apology. The reunion hasn't even been filmed yet, and fans are already betting money on who's going to cry first, who's going to walk off stage, and who's going to throw the first verbal grenade. And honestly, it could be any of them. Because what happened next didn't just escalate the drama. It made it clear that Rasheeda and Yandy are standing on two completely different sides of a friendship war neither one seems ready to walk away from. After that tense event where they exchanged barely concealed shots, production forced the two to sit down for a mediation scene. They didn't want to. The cast didn't want to. And even the fans were like, this gon' go bad. And guess what? It did. The moment Rasheeda sat down, her legs crossed, arms folded, face giving corporate HR energy, you knew she wasn't there to heal. She was there to defend. Yandy sat across from her with that composed but simmering expression, the type of look you give when you've cried already, screamed already, and now you're just done. The producer tried to break the ice, saying something polite about miscommunication. Rasheeda cut him off with, "Ain't no miscommunication. I said what I said." That sentence alone could have triggered a Category 5 shade storm. But Yandy stayed calm. She took a breath and said in the softest but deadliest tone, "You didn't just say something. You came for things you can't take back." She wasn't yelling, she wasn't combative, but her eyes were locked in with laser precision. If looks could read someone's soul. Yandy was reading encyclopedias. Rasheeda rolled her eyes and said she felt played for years, that she felt like she was showing up for someone who didn't show up for her the same way. She claimed that when the Jasmine Washington drama was happening, she never asked Yandy to defend her, so she didn't understand why Yandy felt betrayed. But viewers remember the footage. Yandy was right there, front row, fighting Rasheeda's PR battles like they were her own. And to pretend otherwise now? Whew. Fans online were like, "Girl, don't rewrite history because the cameras caught it." The conversation turned into a brutal back and forth where both women were hitting trigger points. Rasheeda said Yandy plays victim when things don't go her way. Yandy said Rasheeda hides behind positivity until she's ready to explode. Rasheeda said Yandy always makes everything about her. Yandy said Rasheeda never truly forgave Kirk's public humiliations and projects that pain onto her friendships. That line? Oh, baby, that was the nuclear button. Rasheeda's face froze. Kirk, who was sitting off to the side, looked like he wanted to evaporate into thin air. You could feel the temperature drop through the screen. And the producer immediately jumped in because he knows when someone is about to flip the table. But Rasheeda responded in that icy, calm voice again, the kind that says she's one comment away from snapping. "Don't bring my marriage into this. You don't know my household." And Yandy clapped back just as quietly. "Then don't bring mine into it either." It was tense, too tense. The kind of tension that makes the camera crew look around like, should we be filming this? And that's when Rasheeda said the line everyone knew would go viral. "You not my friend no more, so stop expecting loyalty from someone you lost." Yandy blinked, just once, and that single blink hurt more than any screaming match, because it was the look of acceptance, the moment she realized the friendship she fought for wasn't coming back. She stood up slowly, wiped a tear, and said, "Then let's stop pretending." She didn't yell. She didn't go dramatic. She walked away with quiet dignity, and that made it even more painful. Because sometimes the soft exits hurt more than the loud ones. Meanwhile, Spice is somewhere in the middle of this tornado, trying to stay neutral, but the fans aren't letting her. Every time Spice posts something, comments are like, "Pick a side," and "Who you rocking with?" She's dodging the feud like it's a game of dodgeball on fire. In her confessional, Spice says she loves both women but feels stuck because Rasheeda's behavior at her concert wasn't cool. But Yandy airing personal business isn't either. She tries to bring humor into it, but you can tell she's stressed. She knows the reunion is going to be chaos, and she'll be sitting dead center watching it unfold like a live grenade going off. In the wider LHATL universe, other cast members are joining the discussion. Bambi says she's over the drama. Sierra says the friendship was never balanced. Erica Mina, out of nowhere as always, jumps online and says Rasheeda acts perfect until she snaps. And Carly Red? Carly is sitting there with popcorn, loving every second. You know Carly lives for drama she's not directly involved in. While social media is eating this up, Rasheeda posts a cryptic Instagram story. Protect your peace even if it means losing people you love. Fans went wild. Some said she was trying to play victim. Others said she was speaking truth. Meanwhile, Yandy posted a Bible verse about betrayal. That sent the fan base spiraling even more. The next episode shows both women separately talking to their husbands. Kirk tells Rasheeda she should apologize just to ease the tension, and she snaps at him, saying she's tired of apologizing for things she didn't do. Mendices tells Yandy he never liked how Rasheeda treated her anyway. People show you who they are. You just didn't want to see it, he says. And Yandy looks down because deep down, she knows he has a point. When the producers finally gather the entire cast together for a pre-reunion dinner, Rasheeda and Yandy sit on opposite sides of the room like they're preparing for war. No eye contact, no greetings, no acknowledgement. They aren't friends anymore, they're opponents, and everyone feels it. By the end of the episode, the narrator asks the question fans can't stop asking: can this friendship ever be repaired? Or is this the end? And the truth is, nobody knows. Not Spice, not Kirk, not Mendices, and definitely not the fans. Because sometimes in love and hip-hop, the biggest heartbreaks aren't cheating, aren't scandals, aren't fights. Sometimes the deepest cuts come from friendships falling apart in slow motion, right in front of millions of viewers. And with the reunion right around the corner, one thing is certain. Rasheeda and Yandy are walking in as enemies, and there's no telling what they'll walk out as. If you made it all the way to the end of this breakdown, woo, you already know this season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is shaping up to be one of the wildest we've ever seen. Friendships ruined, loyalty questioned, shade thrown like confetti, and a BBL comment that will go down in reality TV history. And trust me, the reunion? It's about to get even messier. Rasheeda and Yandy are officially on opposite sides of a war that nobody saw coming, and the fallout is only getting bigger from here. So if you're locked in like I am, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss a single twist, clapback, or meltdown. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team Rasheeda or Team Yandy? Because this story is far from over, and the next episode might just change everything.